Welcome to the Biohack Method. I am Lindsay Burwell. I break down the science, cut the fluff, and give you real tools to optimize your body with peptides, transdermal patches, and root cause biohacking that actually works. Okay, welcome back to the Metabolic Method. I'm so pumped to dive into all about how to reset your metabolism. I do live workshops on this, and I wanted to bring it to the podcast so everyone can hear truly what is causing everyone's metabolism to be so inefficient and how can we fix it, right? I hear this from so many women that I work with that I am eating really good, I'm working out, but literally the scale is not moving. I don't feel well. My energy is not great. What is happening? Why can't I burn fat? Why don't I wake up with energy? All the things. So this is truly the crux. We're going to go into what is causing this problem. Why are Americans so metabolically inflexible? Why can't we switch back and forth between glucose and fat burning? What's causing that? And then literally, how can we fix it? First off, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lindsay Burwell, and I am a functional practitioner, peptide specialist, and biohacker. I just thrive on looking at root cause, what is causing inflammation in the body, and how can we peel back those layers so we can get your body to work more optimally. A little bit about me and my personal story and what makes it just so important to me is that I know what it feels like to not feel great. I know what it feels like to not feel like your best self, not stepping into who you were created to be, because you feel so stuck between feeling inflamed and having gut issues. I had crazy anxiety. I was 20 pounds heavier, truly, and I was running marathons. I was eating healthy. I was doing all the things right, but I just felt stuck. I felt off. My sleep was awful. My hormones were all over the place. And it wasn't really until I studied the cell and how to heal the body at the cellular level that I was able to start seeing things shift metabolically in my system. And I just know this work is so important because it changes your quality of life. So let's dive into metabolism and why Americans are having this issue. So one thing to note, I hear a lot of things from people who are I just feel like I have a slow metabolism. Or as I've gotten older, I hit 30, I hit 40, I hit 50, and my metabolism just is not working the same that it did when it was in its 20s. But here's something so crazy and so fascinating. So there was actually a study done with Duke, and they found that your metabolic rate actually does not change barely at all from the years 20 to 60 years old. And so this is so wild to me because I think we use age sometimes as a crux, but this study showed that there are no changes. So what is going on here? There was another study that showed 97% of Americans are metabolically inflexible, meaning that their body does not know how to go back and forth between glucose sugar burning and actual fat burning for energy. So what's causing this issue? It's not age. We see that now through research. It's not age. So what is going on? And truly, it's just the world that we live in, this world that we're living in that is so toxic, is causing these problems. So let's look at exactly what is it? What are causing these problems? And a lot of it is just these small micro exposures of the way that we live our life today. So constantly grazing, constantly snacking, constantly overeating. I know that I was guilty of this. I thought I should eat every 2 hours. I'd just open up the fridge, even it'd be healthy, right? Carrots and hummus, chips and salsa, whatever. It could just be a bowl of fruit. I remember going home for the summers. My dad would cut me up this huge bowl of fruit, watermelon, cantaloupe, pineapple, and I would literally eat all of it. I'm just thinking back to that going, I can only imagine what my glucose monitor would have looked like. Probably just really high all the time, which I didn't even need a monitor to tell me that. I could just look back and see it in the pictures. I was so inflamed. We are as a society overeating, but actually malnourished from a micronutrient perspective. And it's because we're eating a lot of processed foods, things that are in packaged goods, right? The chips, just anything that's in those inner layers of the grocery store, if you will, anything that's basically processed, that's not fresh from the land, from farms, is processed food. And so we're eating a lot of that stuff, right? And it doesn't have a lot of micronutrients. It might have your carbs, it might have your fats, it might have your proteins, but it doesn't have your vitamins, your minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, which these nutrients, these micronutrients have core components to how different functions of our body operate and thrive and need. So we're not getting that. And the constant grazing and snacking is causing total metabolic chaos and stress. It's too much. Another thing we're doing is we're not sleeping great. great. We're not getting good quality sleep that we should be. We are going to bed later or waking up earlier. And truthfully, from a circadian rhythm perspective, our bodies are designed to really thrive with like the rise of the sun and the setting of the sun. So in the morning, like our cortisol is meant to be increased so we can have that energy, that metabolism to get things done, to get through the day, to provide for our families, to provide for people around us. And then as the sun starts to set, it actually signals biological cues and enzymatic processes to start shutting down that system, right? And so when we go to bed too late, the later we go to sleep, actually, it's less quality sleep. Like there's even studies done that show even if you were to get 8 hours of sleep going to bed at midnight, waking up at 8 a.m., it's not nearly the same as quality sleep as going to bed at like 9 p.m. and getting that 8 hours. And it's truly because our bodies were designed to sleep more optimally in those first 4 hours before midnight even. So trying to get to sleep before midnight is so, so, so important. And a lot of us just aren't doing that anymore, right? Toxic burdens. Let's talk about how crazy toxic our world has gotten in the last 10, 15, 20 years. All of the EMF, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth even. I call these the like invisible enemies. Even just all the chemicals that are in our products that we're using every day, the hand soaps, the hand sanitizers, the laundry detergent, the plastics, the Ziploc bags. I don't want to be like doomsday, but what I will say is all these little micro exposures, they do add up and they do mean a lot. And so when we're chronically exposed to this, it does downregulate cell integrity and it does cause stress, aka inflammation in the cell. So yes, it does impact your metabolism. And just being more sedentary, right? Like I know moms, man, we got kids and all the activities to school. We're in our car a lot, hours a day, 3 to 6 hours a day. Us humans were not designed to be sitting, being so stagnant. It's so important to move. And even I'm sure you've experienced, like you go to the gym and you work out, how great you feel. This is like by design. It's truly by design that we have a flood of creativity, that we get a flood of dopamine, that we get a flood of serotonin when we move our body. It's because our bodies were created to move. And that's where we find optimization and vitality. So we're just not doing that as much anymore, right? Just another reason is compounded stress on our mitochondria and our cells. So, internal, external stress, it really starts to break down cellular function and it totally impacts metabolism. We talked a little bit about that micronutrient deficiency. And, it's like, yeah, we're eating processed foods, but also think about our soil. Like, from industrialized farming, we just don't have nutrient rich soil anymore. I think there was a study I read that like you'd have to eat like 30 apples or something today in order to get the same nutrient profile as one apple like 7, 8 years ago. Which I don't know about you, but like I could not eat 30 apples. So it's just hard to get everything we need for our cells to function. And when it comes to healing, and yes, metabolism, it is all about healing the cell and getting the cell what it needs to move away from being stressed and inflamed and into a cell safety, cell happy environment. And so these are the things that are causing that stress. Another really important thing is that and it kind of goes hand in hand with the fasting, the grazing, but the lack of fasting and circadian rhythm alignment. So because we're eating and we're snacking and we're doing all these things, like we're not giving our gut a break. Our gut is like working on overtime. It just is like, okay, I'm trying to keep up. But we are not allowing enough time between meals for one, insulin to drop, two, for digestion to take place, and really for just our body to become more metabolically flexible in between. So think about it. Let's say you're eating every 2 hours. You eat, your glucose goes up, your body's utilizing that glucose for energy because it's readily available, it's fast and it's easy, it's the preferred energy source. And then it barely goes down and then 2 hours later eating again. So when you have longer fasting periods between meals, your body can actually tap into fat stores for energy and not just always use that glucose provided from the last meal. So these are kind of all the little things. Think about it. Like a lot of even micro exposures over time compounded over 10, 15 years. It's no wonder there's like the majority of Americans just like they're working out, they're eating healthy and they don't see anything shift. So here's kind of some fun quick tips on retraining your metabolism to start being more of a fat burning machine. Number 1, stop snacking. Okay. Really, 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 really try. So I want you to really think about 3 structured meals a day. Okay. I want you to think of food as being medicine and nourishing and then closing shop. So at breakfast time, wake up and have a nourishing breakfast. I can't say this enough. I want you to design your meals to align with the energy production of your day. So we are busy morning and afternoon, right? We're not that busy at the end of the night. So we don't need a lot of food at the end of the day. We need a lot of food in the beginning of the day. Food is fuel, food is medicine. So I want you to think of breakfast as your way of like turning on that furnace, lighting that fire, getting things metabolically charged, right? And then I want you to really think about how you need energy to get through your day, to think clearly, to get all the things you need done. So you want to have a good, nourishing breakfast. And I'm going to go into like a good combination for what that might look like, but you want to have breakfast and then stop eating. Okay. Stop eating for 3 to 4 to even 5 hours. Allow your body to take that break, drop that insulin, and then have lunch. Like really think about, this is my meal. I'm closing up shop. I'm going to allow my body, my gut, my cells to have a break, drop insulin, move on. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, change meal order. Okay. When you go to eat, I don't want you to have any carbs naked. You need to always first have fiber, protein, and fat before you have any starches or any carbs. So you need to breakfast, lunch, dinner. It doesn't matter if you're traveling or you're out to dinner with your friends, lead with that fiber, that protein, and that carb or fat, then have the carbs. So when you're at a steakhouse, don't do the bread until you've had your protein, your vegetables, and your fat. This will help stabilize the glucose, not spike as much. So that's going to retrain that metabolism. Start strength training. Tip number 3. You have to start building muscle. Building muscle requires the most energy metabolically throughout the day. It's going to burn more calories. It's important for longevity. It's important for bone density. So really prioritize strength training as if your life depends on it. There's no pill, no nothing that will outpower what strength training and exercising does. Try to aim for that 10,000 steps a day, okay? Like just get that movement in. It's so, so, so important. And consider some high intensity, quick bursts of energy. I'm going to talk more about that in another podcast, but even doing that a couple times a week is so fire when it comes to fat burn. Number 4, prioritize sleep and sunlight exposure. Okay. So start going to sleep earlier. I want you to go to bed literally 9:30, 10. And if you're like a midnight and you're like, there is zero way, just start inching that back by like 15 minutes. It doesn't need to be this drastic change where you're like, okay, I'm going to go to bed 3 hours earlier. But just start small. Go, okay, I'm going to go to bed 15 minutes earlier. I want you to think of bedtime as your time where your body regenerates and restores and your cells go through cleanup, right? So I want you to really create that atmosphere of healing and sanctuary with your sleep. Start winding down, getting ready, meditating, really thinking about your body, getting into rest and digest, and just bumping that time up 15 minutes. You will retrain your body how to go to bed early and be an early bird. The most productive, successful people in this world are early birds. So if you're like, I want to be an early bird, but I cannot wake up early, and that used to be me, and actually really used to be my husband too. He used to stay up so late. Then you just got to train your system, and you're adaptable. You can do this, I promise. And then another really fun one that I love is we can really, 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 really rev things up with some peptides, micronutrients, and the patches, which I'll talk more about. Okay, so we talked about retraining your metabolism to burn fat. We have so many fun ideas on exactly what that can look like. Let's now look at, why is blood sugar everything? I'm talking a lot about blood sugar, blood sugar, blood sugar. And I'll tell you, when I was learning about blood sugar, I was doing this hormone masterclass, and I remember thinking like, okay, can we stop talking about blood sugar because I'm not diabetic? Like this is not an issue for me. I totally dismissed so much of it. Even when we were learning about the meals, how to plate your food, I was like, please, what is happening? But I'm going to tell you what, blood sugar is the crux of cellular health, of longevity, of optimization, of preventing all chronic diseases, really. It is so important. Even if you're not diabetic, we need to care right now about blood sugar. So stable blood sugar, when you have stable blood sugar, stable insulin, it means more fat burn, more energy, more hormone balance. Everything is connected. Everything, inflammation, autoimmune, metabolism, energy, everything is connected to blood sugar. Okay. This is also why I'm so obsessed about talking about it, is because it's not just about metabolism. I don't just care about you having a 6-pack. I really, really don't. What I care about is you thriving and living your best optimal life. And like truly, when we dilate, when you have a effective metabolism, it means that you are freaking healthy. You're thriving. It's not just about fat burn. It's about longevity here. It's about preventing cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Like these things are so important. Hormonal imbalances. How many people do you know with PCOS, right? So, when you have spikes in your blood sugar, over time, because you're constantly eating, snacking, you're having the carbs, you're all the things at night, you're going to bed with a full stomach, it leads to insulin resistance and weight gain. When the hormone insulin is not pushing glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cells, that's where we get into trouble. And that's where you start gaining weight, but that's just the tip of the cherry. Everything else falls downhill after that. So, flattening your insulin curve and your glucose curve really is going to improve longevity, your metabolism, like truly everything. So going back to like watch your meal timing, the order in which you eat, all of that is going to be so crux. And just know blood sugar is a lot. I have a lot of clients who like run and get the CGM. I've played with CGMs. They are very empowering. They are very great. Do you need to go get a CGM and be obsessed with your glucose? Maybe if you want to try it, but you don't need to. I want you to try these simple stacks and let those compound and see how it starts to shift things, just like non-scale wise, but also like body composition wise. But truly just know, sometimes I can see like healthy glucose levels, healthy fasting glucose, healthy A1Cs, but it's insulin. Insulin will be dysregulated years before it shows up on blood work. Years. We need to be looking at insulin. It is so important. Here's some other really fun tips. Okay, these are like my kind of woo, but they actually work. And if you commit to this, do it over time. Do it for like 2-3 weeks. Why not? Trial it out. These are very, very, very powerful tools to really shift things metabolically in your system. So try this at home. Try 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water before meals. You're going to want to dilute it because it is pretty strong. But here's what's great. It has some digestive enzymes in it. We all love that. We all need that. But also it actually reduces the glucose spike by 30%, study showed. And I've actually seen this on my own glucose monitor. So you don't need to be perfect. Don't be like every single meal, if I don't get my apple cider vinegar in, then it's not going to work. No, even just try it 1 or 2 times a day. Definitely before like a big carb meal or anything, it's going to be so important. Another thing we can do is start walking after you eat. Every meal you eat, walk for 10-20 minutes. If you cannot walk, do 20 air squats. Okay. When you walk after you eat, it also mobilizes that glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cell. It will prevent that blunt glucose spike. And again, that's the whole goal here. We want to stop having those glucose spikes so we're like not all over the place and we're retraining that metabolic process. So I promise you, this one is so good. It is amazing. Even my husband, he's been kind of crazy. It's so hot outside and he like puts on his weighted vest literally at 5-6 p.m. and he goes for a walk. I'm like, I'm proud of you because that is hard. And I actually don't even want to do that. I actually went for a walk this morning with my weighted vest. Y'all, the sunrises right now in Arizona are so amazing. And that just felt so great. Okay, I want you to also, my next little tip, eat within daylight hours. Our body, let's talk about circadian rhythm again. Our body was designed to eat with our cortisol levels. Our cortisol is the most high in the morning, and it was designed biologically that way because cortisol gives you energy, it gives you drive, it gives you focus. And so we actually can process carbs better. Our insulin is better in the morning. And as the day goes on, it starts becoming less effective. And that's why it's more important. Don't fast through breakfast. Don't skip breakfast. Don't go into starvation mode. Do that later on in the day. So if you're going to fast skip dinner or do a small dinner, you really want to get a good, nourishing, wholesome breakfast in, and you want to eat during those daylight hours. Don't eat when the sun's down. Our bodies do not have enzymatic processes to digest food properly when the sun's going down. And most importantly, this is a huge one, go to bed without food in your stomach. Okay. So try to stop eating 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. You want your body not to be focused on digestion. Hold on. I hear crying. It's insane in my house right now. Just edit all that out. Okay. Avoid eating 3 or 4 hours before bed. You want your body to have all of its energy to go towards restoration at night. You do not want your body to be processing food, digesting food, figuring out insulin while you're supposed to be doing cellular cleanup and regenerative work, right? During the night is when our body burns fat. That's really like the biggest window of opportunity for fat burning and for cellular cleanup, cleaning up those old cells, right? So you can't have that happen if you're eating close to bedtime. You have to absolutely stop that. I even challenge you for my next one, try to fast one day a week or once every other week. Reset that insulin, ignite that autophagy. You will feel such a huge surge of mental clarity, metabolically charged. Like, try it. Like, we really were designed to be fasting more. I'm going to talk more about that right here, actually. So we were to think about when humans were created. We were foraging for food. We would hunt our food. We would cook our food. We would eat our food. And then sometimes we would not eat for another day, or definitely for like 6, 8 hours, right? We were designed to live that way. We were not designed to be constantly putting input into our gut, into our cells. So let's go back to biologically the way that we are designed. There is a healthy and very effective way in fasting. My philosophy, even for women, you don't want to fast where you're skipping breakfast and going as late as you can in the day. We want to fast really through the night, okay? Fasting triggers autophagy, that's cellular cleanup. It also resets insulin and sensitivity and lowers inflammation. So important to give those breaks. Whenever I feel inflammation creep up, I'll just do some fasting. I will be more intentional with my meal prep, meal spacing, or even just doing a 24-hour fast. Boom, back to normal. It is the most fastest way to reset, truly. It supports longevity, energy, fat adaptation, all the things we've talked about. And truly, like, most people are just not even accessing their fat burning zone. And it's because we are just overstuffing ourselves, truly. So let's get back to that. Be inspired to do something. I have done some group fasts with clients and it's so fun. So grab a friend, tag me on Instagram, message me on Instagram. I'll do it with you. I love a good community effort fasting. It is so fun. Let's talk about, okay, what kind of fuel do we need to get into fat burn? How can we fire that up? You're going to want to eat some good macronutrients, right? Some good quality protein, grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, all of those yummy, healthy fats, avocados. We want some good eggs. So all of those are just going to give you some great metabolic power. Some micronutrients that are important are lots of minerals. Our cells need literal minerals to absorb water, to function. Our cells are made up of 90% water. We need minerals in order for that water to support our cellular function. So we need minerals, we need B vitamins, methylated preferred, especially if you have the MTHFR gene mutation, which a lot of us have, and antioxidants, blueberries, okay? Blueberries are wonderful. Again, have that protein, fiber, and fat with it, but those blueberries are such a powerful source of antioxidants. I even love injectable glutathione or the metabolism patch, the detox patch, all of those. So get some glutathione in your body. That is so key when it comes to metabolism. We talked a lot about, again, just like a lot of us are overeating, we're overweight, but we're actually malnourished micronutriently. Think about the food you're eating. Does this have vitamins? Does this have minerals? Does this have antioxidants, fatty acids? Am I nourishing my cells? I want you to think about food as truly being medicine. Like, how can when I eat something, is this going to provide like love and nurturing to my cells, right? Like, what is this providing to me? And it's been a journey. This doesn't happen overnight. This thought process and shift, it doesn't happen overnight, and perfection is not the goal here. But I really, truly, full transparency, I used to have a disordered eating, I had disordered relationships with food. And, it has taken me some time. And now when I see food, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is love. Like, food is love. And like, this protein is literally, like, you guys are going to make fun of me. Probably. You're going to be like, okay, this Lindsay girl, I thought we were cool, but she's a little cray cray. For real, like, sometimes I just envision like myself so happy when I eat like certain things. I'm just like I'll make my protein shake with my spirulina. I'm like, gosh, my cells are probably so happy right now. I think when we shift away from like shame and guilt and like pressure with food and think of it more in a loving place, like we make more loving decisions, right? And then other things to really fuel that body and the fat burn. I love me some peptides. GLPs are crazy effective at this. My metabolism patch, you got to do it. Transdermal delivery is queen at absorption, so much more superior than supplements. But they can definitely fill the gaps if there are some especially micronutrient gaps. That's going to be important to consider good whole food supplementation. Okay, let's talk about the power of your thoughts. Okay, we can't create change if our brains hate us, and if our brains are mad at us, and if our brains have these negative thoughts about the change or about what we've done or about what we're doing. You cannot see any shift. No radical transformations are ever going to happen if your thoughts are not aligned. So I want to give you some powerful thoughts. I want you to write these down. I want you to write them on your mirror. I want you to have them in your phone. Even like, you guys, I've had times in my life where I will put an alarm on my phone at 12 o'clock and it tells me this message. Like sometimes we need random jolts in the day to remind us this, because we go on autopilot, our subconscious takes over. We're not consciously aware of our thoughts and our intentions. And so just these little nudges and reminders are so powerful. And the thoughts that you have, you guys, are what create the emotions that drive your actions or inactions. So I want you to create thoughts that align with who you want to be and the actions you want to take, okay? It's all going to come down to your thoughts. So some thoughts that I believe are very beautiful and that serve me, that might serve you, are: my body is always working for me and not against me. Okay, our bodies truly are. They are saving our life every single second of the day. And I want you to think of this visual. If your body hated you, if your body did not want you to heal and thrive and be optimized, the moment you got a paper cut, you would literally just bleed out. Like you'd be done. Your body'd be like, oh, perfect. We're exit strategy. We out. But instead, when you bleed, your body instantly goes to clot that blood. Like within seconds. It's like, nope, we're saving Lindsay's life. We love her. So I want you to think of your body as your best friend, and it's on your side and it's going to save your life at any second. The next thought is: my energy, metabolism, and mood are being rebuilt daily. Sometimes we think we've done so much damage that it's irreparable. What we've done in the past we'll never be able to heal from. And that shame and that guilt keeps us so stuck. And I want you to know, like, literally our cells are like regenerating every second. Our liver is regenerating every 3 months. Our blood is regenerating every 3 days. So you absolutely have done nothing wrong. And nothing you've ever done will ever prevent you from radically making a transformation that you need and want, desire. So truly, this is being rebuilt daily. You can start today. Nothing that you've done in the past will change that. The next thought is: the more I trust my body, the faster it responds. And I love this one because, again, when you have thoughts of trust and love and grace, you're going to produce those more positive emotions, which will drive more positive change. So I want you just to trust your body. What we think and what we say literally changes the structure of our DNA and our cells, okay? There has been studies that look at cells under a microscope, and when you have negative thoughts and you speak negatively, these harsh words about like, you're broken, you're ugly, you're stuck, you're fat, whatever it might be, this won't work, it never works, I've tried, I'm broken. It breaks your DNA. Like your body is listening constantly to the dialogue in your head, and it doesn't know it doesn't know like false from fact, right? Truth from fact. And so I want you to choose the thoughts that you want your body to believe. Be really intentional. Like, what thoughts do I want my body to listen to right now? Do you want to wake up and be like, here's another day. I'm so inflamed. Don't feel good. Nothing's working. I'm broken. I'm busy. I can't do it. I don't have time. It doesn't taste good. I messed up last night. Oops. I got to start over. I'm always starting over. I always do this. Wow, Lindsay. I've been there, you guys. I really have. I know the dialogue. I know the hamster wheel. Your body's listening to that. And do you think your body is going to change when you have those thoughts? You have to dial in. Like, what loving thoughts can you think? So take these with you, and hopefully they will help shift some things. The last one here is: I'm not stuck. My body just needs the right signal. I think that is so, so powerful. Sometimes we need to remove the things that are causing the stress, the inflammation, right? The things we talked about. And suddenly you don't have to work harder. Your body knows what to do. It'll heal. You don't need to work harder. We just need to remove those things that are causing stress, and then it will all click together, I promise. I'm going to wrap this up, and I just want you guys to feel so empowered. Truly, like, this journey, again, it's not about aesthetics. It's not about just burning fat. It's about healing your body at the cell, optimizing, becoming your best self, living your best quality of life. And the byproduct of that is going to be, you're going to feel more alignment metabolically. I hope this empowered you so, so much. Other ways, if you're like, I want more, like, I'm just so inspired, there are other ways that we can work more closely together. I do offer the Metabolic Reset program. This is a self-paced, very foundational program. I created this after like 300 metabolic scans I did. I was like, people need like a step-by-step system. I don't have like 8 hours with each client to spend on like healing the body at the cell. So I created this Metabolic Reset program. So this is really like a step-by-step program. It goes through the mindset work that we just talked about. It talks about the foundation, like foundationally, what needs to be in place for your cells to heal, right? Sleep, nutrition, exercise, hydration, circadian rhythm. It goes deeper into all those layers. I talk about a whole nother section on detoxification, drainage. What does that look like? How exactly do you do it? Also blood sugar. We dive even deeper. You have access to my detox workshop, my metabolism workshop. You have access to all my guides, nutritional recipes, trackers, everything you need just to kind of like give you that roadmap. If you want some more one-on-one time with me, I recommend the metabolic scan. This is a one-on-one opportunity where you get to utilize a functional lab called the metabolic scan, utilizing your hair follicle bulb. The scan gets shipped direct to you, and it's a 38-page analysis that we basically go through. And what I'm able to identify is what are the top things stressing out your body. And that way we have personalized data. We have very specific things that we can start targeting, removing, and you get a personalized protocol from me and that hour to work with me. So a lot of clients want more of that one-on-one touch point. So that's an option for you. The next one are peptides. So peptides, I will do a whole nother podcast on this, but in a very short statement, those are very effective ways, branched chain amino acids that go into the system and reset them. They're like, let's say they're like 100 times the strength of supplements. They're very effective. I have hundreds of clients utilizing peptides to transform their metabolism, their hormones, their hair, all the things, their gut. And so peptides are amazing. And I have peptides that are clean, that are certified, clean, third-party tested. They, no fillers, no preservatives, there's no pharmaceuticals, and they're amazing. And then I have the patch method. So the patch method is my brand. These are transdermal delivery patches. I have a metabolism one that you use in the morning to boost energy and metabolism. And then I have a detox one that you use at night. You place it over your liver at night. Our liver does go through a detox cycle. So this patch sits there. It cleans out that liver as you're sleeping. And it has amazing ingredients like some Chinese medicine for detoxification, glutathione, which you can't absorb via pill form. It has to be injectable or transdermal delivery. We also have the CoQ10, a master antioxidant, sulforaphane, which is critical for detoxification, milk thistle, arnica, which is important for circulation, inflammation. It's literally like the greatest thing. So check out the patch method, and I'll also link my website. You can kind of read more about that. But it was so great. I'm so excited we got to dive more deep into metabolism, rebooting. I hope that some of this inspired you. We are all walking this journey together, truly, and I'm just so grateful that you're here with me doing it. So take care. That's it for today's episode of the Biohack Method. If this lit something up in you, do me a favor, share it, tag me at Lindsay Burwell Wellness, and drop a review. Ready to dive deeper? Head to the show notes for peptides, patches, and programs that are changing the game for high-performing women like you.